Okay, here we go again. So, I don't know if I want to fully commit to multiplayer, but also that's kind of like when I'm doing the stream. The issue is that, with other features, like the upgrade system, for example, that was kind of part of the original vision. Now with this, it's not necessary. Multiplayer is not necessary for the game to be fun, but it would make it more fun or allow more possibilities for fun in a different context. And I think, as far as programming tasks go, it actually shouldn't be very difficult. It's mainly just that I have to kind of tear things up a little bit in order to get this to work. Right, I remember I added the click to move feature, which was just me changing a single line of code. I'll call that a feature. But I mean, so where were we at last time? We had two moving dragons. The issue is that the origin shifting wasn't synced. But once we do that, we need to implement the enemies. It's just some form of instancing, probably. I don't know. I guess I could use the multiplayer spawner. It's like, do I have to add every scene to that, though? Also, what if I'm, creating nodes from scratch? How does that work? So, I think there is a custom, set node thing you can do. We looked at that last time. So I could experiment with that. Then we need to sync the tile destruction, which will be easy. That'll be easy because it's just an RPC. It's all we have to do. The hardest part about that is going to be getting in C++. But once we have all that stuff and we have, lobby logic, and not necessarily lobby logic, but just incorporate, the flow of the game in, a multiplayer way, that's pretty much it. So, like, this feels deceivingly daunting to me. It's not actually that difficult. It's not as difficult as I think it is. Um, that being said, we have to find some way to sync up the positions. Also, I don't know how much of this stuff I can just switch off if you're playing single player, so this might actually just hurt performance in single player mode. It's not a huge deal though. And what can I do? Okay, so that isn't working anymore. So that's cool. Did I not get this to work yet? Instance.name. Hmm. What if I try it again? Okay. I guess it was just the origin shifting. Right, we had that error last time. So... And we can't move here. Alright. If we turn this off... What happens if we test that? Will that unerror the code so that we can initialize all of our input stuff? course, it's not gonna sync up properly. Okay, so even that just it's not working for some reason. All right. Let's print is client dragon. Okay, it says true. Those three are false. Why? Why is it false? I'm still setting the player, right? Is the syntax allowed? Because what do I have down here? Didn't I have some other property? I thought I had another setter getter thing. Oh, size. Yeah. Here it uses a secondary. I found out these are called attributes, by the way. What I was referring to as fields are actually called attributes in Godot. I'm pretty sure. It's also possible we undid some stuff in our game script. So I suppose I can check there as well. Okay, let's print the ID. It says my live stream on YouTube is offline. But it also says live. What? Hmm. That's weird. Why is it? Why does it say offline? Is that like some sort of bug? Some glitch? Your channel. Okay, well I can watch it. Hmm. Okay, it went away. It looks like maybe that was just some sort of bug or user interface quirk. So that matches, that matches, that matches, and okay, so I'm noticing the only one that has a different player is this one. Yeah, this one right here. So what could be happening? Right. It's again, it has to be something with our property synchronization because we're supposed to be using this. That's on spawn. It says replicate never. But then, so I guess it only sends it once on spawn. So that would be the idea there. And what is the spawn property actually called? I feel like it'd be called, I feel like it'd be more likely to be here. Because that's when it actually gets replicated to the other clients. So I don't know if there's a way I can check for that. I guess I could go into C++ and add breakpoints, but I'd rather not do that. But again, one of them is setting it properly. So yeah, it must just not be replicating it. What if we try on change? I feel like this part was working last time. Yeah, it's like after doing all that stuff in C++ and like not like basically spending a bunch of time fixing errors and stuff like that, I immediately move on to another very like bug prone task. So that's cool. I'm leveling up. I'm increasing my difficulty threshold. This time I don't see it synced over here. So you know, we're just getting better each time. That's not synced either. Why? It's using the same property? It says Dragon Player. Okay, well, I guess the other possibility is that we're setting it after it's loaded somehow. But we're only calling that here. So are we getting any errors? Besides the usual? No. What? Do I have to set the client authority thing? I think that was giving errors when I tried to do that, which is why I turned it off. But maybe I have to. Okay. And it's still not instantiating the other one. What the hell? Uh, this time it's like a different order. Wait, are we printing there? Yeah, we don't have that scenario where they both match up. Maybe it's not syncing in time, or you know what? Uh, yeah, this might be because we're calling it in enter tree, and it might not have, processed the spawn thing yet. So we could try ready. It's just I'm not really sure. Like I'm not sure if that will work. And it might cause other errors. We'll see though. We do have the other synchronize part thing turned off. Now it's doing this again. Does that mean it's working? Maybe it means that's like actually doing something. Yeah, I don't know. I should look at that article again. So when do they check the value? That's in the ready function. Actually, why can't we do this in the actual property? I guess it's worth trying. Okay, this is like not necessary, I feel. You don't have to check for that now. So I guess this is where it's actually like spawned in. Here. Let's just print when we set it. And then we can check in our ready function. And we try to use it. That way, I'll know for sure. But again, that's after the children are configured. But again, we're not synchronizing those properties anymore. Yeah, I guess it could be happening beforehand. they're using the value in the ready function. So I wonder if I can print in different colors. I know I can throw errors. I think I could print an error, which would be red. Can I just like choose a color? Oh, right, and I have to remember I don't see the other dragon because the origin shifting, and it's probably not going to be on the other client, I assume. Why can't this one move? Or what if it's synchronizing from the server to the client, or no, the client to the server? Like if you have two separate values on the server and client, which one does it sync to? Thank you for the follow, board programmer. Okay, maybe it does have something to do with authority? Because if the authority on it, no, again, they're just using that for like a Boolean check. I don't know if it's. I need to look at the multiplayer synchronizer documentation. Like, why am I getting hung up on this? Of all things. Synchronizes configured properties to all peers. Visibility can be handled directly with set visibility 4, whereas needed with add visibility filter and update visibility. Multiplayer spawners will handle nodes according to visibility of synchronizers, as long as the node at root path was spawned by one. As long as the node at root path was spawned. I see. Yeah, it's dragon. That's what gets spawned. Let's check the properties again for a second. What does this do? Well, yeah, I don't even know what this does. That makes sense. So does I'm assuming the behavior changes from server to client. Oh wait, hold on. Is that what's causing it? Why am I opening up C++? I just opened up Krita. This is irrelevant. Okay, we're gonna let Krita open up. Deemed hydrate. Thank you for the hydrate. Just taking a break from coding. Figured I would drop in on other people enjoying it too. Well, thank you. Thank you for dropping in. And yes, I am enjoying it in my own twisted way. Okay, I think... Is that what's going on? Does the authority actually matter? Okay, let's assume that it can work on server and client. Now, what would the natural extension of that behavior be? It's always twisted, but coders have a sadistic sense of enjoyment like that. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, it is very flip-floppy. Like right now, I feel like, oh my god, what am I doing? This is awful. You know, like 30 minutes from now, I'd be like, whoa, we just implemented the world's greatest feature. Oh, this is awesome. But, you know, that's all just like a feeling, you know? Still, when I'm thinking rationally, I can always tell myself that I'm having fun. Okay, I have a new theory. Let me see if this article is like consistent with it. I think that they're somehow disabling the synchronizer on the server. Or no, it would be on the client. Oh, that could be problematic though. No. Not that. Those Krita. This isn't messing it up, right? Also, I think I already implemented that. Okay, so here they're setting the ID. Kind of pillow keeps getting messed up. And then in the ready function, which is actually this ready function. Wait, no. Yeah, it is this function. If player equals multiplayer.get unique ID, camera3d.current equals true. Let's see. Process for the local player. That's just the input, though. Like, where's the other one? That syncs the player. There's two here. Server synchronizer. Oh. Wait, it's flipped. Player input. Where are they adding player? Oh, that is on the server. Well, how does that work? I see public visibility. Server synchronizer. Okay, so this is player input. Is there any mention of server synchronizer? God, I should have read the article better. I mean, there must be some way they're specifically making this run on the server. Yeah, where do they add the server synchronizer? Use a child node dedicated to the player inputs and leave the multiplayer authority of the character nodes to the server. How? Excuse me. My God. I need gamer water. I'm already losing my voice. All right. This helps maintaining a proper isolation. Yes. I see the error now with not doing that. Synchronize for the player input. Yeah, I don't even know if it would work in the ready function. I'm not doing this anymore. We actually don't want that. I don't think that would work if I tried to synchronize it either. Okay, I can't see what the properties look like on this. Actually, no, it was, yeah, here. Root path is player. Then here it's player input. Okay, this is input. I'm not worried about that yet. Alright, well, I'm not sure why this isn't working. We are using enter tree, though. That could be causing issues. What if this is just correct and we just haven't accounted for the origin shifting yet? Like, yeah, what if I... Is this like what we figured out last time? What if I don't do that? And this is already in an if statement. Is client dragon. Hmm. Yeah, isn't there like a little group icon that shows up here when they're in a group? Okay, it must be doing that because we're just, past the render threshold. So I'm just gonna ignore that. And, oh, that makes sense, because then when this gets spawned in, that'll be before the ready function is called, but after the enter tree function is called. Okay, that makes sense. Stop moving. Stop. Okay. So the reason their positions aren't being synced is because we're not syncing those properties. Alright, well, there is our problem. Origin shifting. You know what? I'm going to just, like, turn off the tile map for a second. It's confusing me. You know, I probably should, like, redesign this whole world thing. Work better with multiplayer. Like, I designed it for single player, and now I'm just trying to, like, push it into a multiplayer state. But I feel like that would just take time. Still being shifted around. Because the camera is also an origin shift. Okay, I gotta remember to add that back. But I'll turn it off for now. Is that why the tile map was getting messed up in the first place? Let's see. Okay. I hope it stops processing that. Probably won't. Yeah, okay, I have another solution in mind. we're just going to offset the dragon a bit. Oh, I'm never going to be able to fix that now. Oh no. Like, I'm never going to be able to align it exactly correct. Okay, let's get the other client in here. Alright, they're not syncing positions yet, but they will. Also, I think when we were getting the error before, it only happens once. Then after that, it'll synchronize the part correctly. It's sort of just like a timing error. Could, you know what? Maybe if I put this first in the hierarchy, it'll like call the necessary functions on that before everything else. I wonder if that's actually important or not. Maybe. Let's see. Did I get any errors? Not yet. It's not usually where I get them. There we go. There's some errors. And now this just isn't working. Fantastic. Hmm. Alright, let's try debugging this. Okay. Again, if I add one of these properties manually, that's what it looks like. Angular velocity. So I guess the nodes just aren't instanced yet, which would mean I should probably move this to the bottom. Wait. No, again, this is being called as the children are being added. Which, like, by the way, yeah, why doesn't that work? Okay, maybe it's because we're calling it the wrong point. Initialize part. Then we're synchronizing the part right here. Alright, we're gonna try debugging. It worked on the other dragon, it seems. So, Oh, and I guess it should only be done in certain contexts as well. This would only be on the server. Hmm. Yeah. And I don't know. Weren't we only getting the errors on a single instance? Yeah, let's try wrapping that in an if statement. Say else if client dragon is, or is client dragon, kind of a not good name, equals false. It's like, why does the movement feel different? Okay, maybe that's like completely psychological. I don't know. Can't move this one again. And again, this is as the child's being added. Do we have to call deferred or something? If I just make all of these call deferred? This is not going to work. But yeah, I guess the hierarchy or whatever hasn't been updated for the synchronizer yet or something like that. I don't know what's going on. I really don't. Oh my god. Stop. Okay, the other one can't move, but it seems like our stuff is being synchronized now. Condition properties.find the path is true. So you're finding the property? It's funny. Okay, adds the property identified by the given path to the list of properties being synchronized, optionally passing an index. Hmm. Now, I guess we could give each part its own synchronizer, but that'd be kind of dumb. I kind of don't want to do that. Okay, what if we do it only on the client? And I guess call deferred doesn't work either in this case. I have another idea if this doesn't work. Wait a minute, hold on. Part would already be there. This isn't like a waiting for the hierarchy to update thing or anything like that. Could our path just be wrong? We're getting the name of the instance. This is actually adding to the position, so that's cool. Maybe I could get like the average of all the rigid bodies. I don't know, probably not. Alright, well, let's test this. Okay, now I remember what I wanted to look at. Yeah, this. Whether we do it here or initialize part, it shouldn't make a difference. And we're not getting errors for the original dragon. Okay, well, I can move now. It's not synchronizing the positions, though. Which means the errors are gone. Whoa. That's crazy. Yeah, on the server, we're actually adding it there. With the multiplayer spawner, it's being spawned in. I honestly don't know how that would make a difference. Oh no, this is on the client. Okay, are you sure we're not getting any errors? Hmm. Of course it, doesn't work. I think it's because it's server authoritative right now. But how do we make it client authoritative? Stop. Stop it. I feel like it sort of should be by default. Hmm. Maybe set process does disable it. Oh, like it's only for these ones. That's an RPC? Uh, while we use the synchronizer itself to constantly sync the direction these wants to go. This is an example of it being set. So maybe if we do set the process to false, it'll fix it, but probably want to do the server side anyways, so we should like figure out why it's not working on the server. We can use breakpoints for that. Uh, oh, right, because we're checking if it's the client, but this is the client, right? This is the one it's spawned on, which is why we're able to move at all. Oh, right, and we want to test it on the server. Okay. I think... Do we want to do this for both? Hold on. What is this error? I guess we can look in the source code. That might actually give like a more descriptive error. Yeah, let me do that. Okay, we know this is gonna work. Head, base path, and your velocity. Let's continue. Okay, this is gonna be for every part. It's the same base path. So could it be because it's not detecting the same property on the other clients, maybe? Scene replication configuration. 115. Property.find p path. What? Oh. Wait. Wait. So the property's already there? And it's on the server. Where it's being spawned. Um... Really? Doesn't make sense. Let's print... We print all the properties. Get properties. What is that? Okay, I'm assuming that's printable. Maybe I can't just use plus here? I don't know. My god. It's a lot. Okay, that's kind of hard to read, actually. So how could it have that on... Oh. Wait. No. I... It wouldn't be the scene we're modifying, right? What it? Oh my god. Uh, Jeez. Okay, well, if it was the scene we were modifying... Oh my god, it might actually be that. Ooh. Let's try checking if it's the server again, though. Got errors that time. It's happening on both clients. We've had problems like this before. Instantiate. So we instantiate it, and then all the edits go back to the scene. So then when we instantiate it on the server again, after that, it's keeping that data, then we're trying to add the properties back. But on the clients, it has its own separate copy, but it's still routing to the same scene ID or whatever. So it's still instantiating the scene we want, just without the edits we made on the server, which is why it's working if we only did it on the client. If that's not it, I don't know what the hell is going on. It's frustrating. It's frustrating that it does that. Let's figure out which one we want. Provides local scene resources to the local scene. Okay. I don't know what that means. Provides local scene resources to the local scene. Box edits the scene state. Okay. Only the main scene should receive the main edit state. It's based on another one. Okay, well. My god, we still have this. Don't we have similar logic somewhere else? Like, I think it's in one of our upgrades somewhere. Yeah, upgrades, core. Um, Feature attribute, maybe? Oh, maybe it's an add part. Yeah, we're doing that. It is a packed scene, technically. Let me look up packed scene again. Simplified interface to a scene file. Provides access to operations and checks that can be performed on the scene. So, yeah, it's going to edit the packed scene. Can be used to save a node to a file. But if we duplicate the scene, is it still going to instantiate across clients? And is there any way we could, like, prevent this through code? I guess I don't know if duplicating it wouldn't work. Oh, these can only be in the editor. Okay. I guess we can try it. I don't know what any alternative would be. Yeah, it's like all the edits get routed back to the packed scene somehow. Let me. Does anyone else have this problem? Kiddo, edits to packed scene affect entire resource. I should mention instantiated packed scene. Hmm. So, I guess it wouldn't create a copy. Oh, it's not creating a copy. Oh my god. It's not creating a copy of the multiplayer synchronizer resource. So it is instantiating everything as a unique instance, but it's keeping the same resource ID. Okay. So I think what we have to do is when we're ready, I think we can just set the where's it? Synchronizer. What is the thing called? I gotta like remember that. Dot replication config equals synchronizer dot replication config dot duplicate. That should be it. I don't think we have any sub resources. These are all just node paths. That's a variant type. Well, it's not an object type. And it's definitely not a resource type. So, yeah, if this doesn't work, then it will not have worked. Let's see if it works. Shit. Damn it. Wait, we're duplicating it. We're duplicating it. That's still gonna have the same problem, right? Yeah, because now it's still gonna be reusing that data. How do we do this? Wait, no, because then we'd be setting it. Oh, but this is called after on child enter tree. So we need to do this. But then how do we know that multiplayer synchronizer will be initialized at that point? God, this is like not easy. Okay. Hmm. Okay. I guess we'll try this. Dot duplicate. And that should not affect the packed scene when we set it back. Have to set the property back. Better not give us any errors, like any new errors, like, oh, you can't adjust the resource when you're trying to do cool things. That's what the error is going to say. My God, I hate that. Oh, we still can't move for some reason. Why not? We're doing everything in ready now. I thought that would work. I thought doing it in ready would work. This should be working. Damn it. Although that error is gone now. So, wait. Does duplicating it hurt the thinking of spawner somehow? Maybe the solution is to give each part its own multiplayer synchronizer. I'm gonna try not to do that though. I really feel like that's not necessary. Were we able to move before when I wasn't duplicating it? Okay, I'm looking at like wrong stuff. Let's just try that again and see if we can move. Okay, in that case, maybe we can't move because there was an error. No, I think it's just being like really dumb. Okay, I'm gonna try disabling this completely. We'll see what that does. I have no idea why that wouldn't work. I should probably try and like think through this if we're duplicating it on the server and the client. We're also duplicating it. Wait, no, this is only happening on the server. Yeah. I don't know if we have to add it on the client or not. But if we're duplicating the resource, that might like break it somehow. So yeah, if they don't have all the same properties, that could also do it. Okay, here it's working. So let's try doing it on both the client and the server. Because I think if the property list isn't the same, it's just not going to work. And if that doesn't work, we might have to do it. We might have to make a multiplayer synchronizer per part, which I guess isn't the end of the world, but it's really not ideal. Also, how are we going to instantiate parts in multiplayer? Like, if we want to remove a part and add a part, like, at runtime, still going to have to do it to, like, initialize the dragon. But... Uh, what is it? What is it this time? Obviously, it's something in synchronized part. I think we have to do this, for instance. Unless we do something with like RPCs, which I kind of don't want to do. So, art synchronizer equals multiplayer synchronizer dot new. Part synchronizer dot root path equals. I guess we're gonna need to get the. I think we can just do this. Config equals part synchronizer dot. Can we just use that? So we're making a new instance. I feel like it would initialize with its own resource. And then we don't need this. I think we do. We can just use instance.name. Oh god. We don't have to set that again. And then do we want to add that as a child of part? Ideally, yes. Could be just like this. Oh. But then the actual properties. Okay. So, yeah, the root path is actually going to be dot dot. And then we could say instance dot add child part synchronizer. This is going to happen on both the client and the server, which still might not work if the resource is not the same. So this is pretty cool. Yeah, okay. I think it's that type. Yeah, I might have to share a resource ID. Okay. Stop. Game. So this is working now, but it's not syncing up properly. What the hell is happening there? Is there any other thing we can do? Like, what other properties can we add? Okay, unless there's some way we can get the server and client to share the ID. I guess I can try looking at source code to see what's actually happening. I don't think this is gonna work though, or I don't think that's gonna reveal much though. Yeah, like where's the replication actually happening? Well, there's multiplayer synchronizer.c++. What's happening there? Watch changes. Watch properties. Get replication configuration pointer. Yeah, I think this would have to be the same resource. Um, which means we might actually be able to make this work, assuming it requires the same resource. How does it work between the client and the server? It would have to be saved somewhere. That's the thing. Unless there's some way we can, like, manually specify the RID. I mean, are there any options in here? Okay, no. Hmm. Oh. Huh. Should I just use an RPC for this? Maybe I should use, like, something, I guess, slightly lower level. Call it that. I should figure out what an RPC actually does. That could be like our alternative solution, and then I can make my own manual property syncer. That's gonna require a bunch of, like, data optimization and stuff. Let's see. Let's just see what it looks like. Remote procedure calls. .rpc. You pass information in. Sender ID. Okay, that is an RPC taking in an argument. What about arrays? Can we pass arrays in? I don't know if it will support arrays. Be cool. I doubt that's all we're gonna have to sync up, right? Okay, well, we're not doing this now. Synchronize and desynchronize, that's obviously not going to work. We will do it for the player thing, I guess. Alright, well, let's make an RPC. Oh, how do I know if it's the same dragon? Wait, okay, the player will be the same on the server as well. Okay. Function, we're gonna make a test function. Like, it's hard to commit to this. Any peer, authority, call local, call remote. Okay, this means any peer can call it. I don't know if we actually want that. I think we want to call it from the server. So we authority, right? Yeah. Sync, what is this? Function will not be called on the local peer, that's called remote. Function will be called on the local peer useful when the server is also a player. Yes, yes. Wait, no, no. Because its position will already be set. So call remote. Transfer mode. Unreliable, unreliable ordered, reliable. I guess we have to do, I mean, when would you even use unreliable? It's like, I want my game to break. What? Like, what situation? When would you use unreliable RPCs? Particle effects, sound effects, etc. That's a Unity article. I guess that kind of makes sense. Although, like, what's the margin of error here? Like, could it be off by, like, seconds? So that could be really bad. Or will it just not send the data correctly? What's the deal there? Packets can be lost. Okay. Alright, so we have to keep in mind this is going to have a significant performance penalty. Send, or sync, replicate to clients. And we'll have an array of these variants. I don't know if that'll work. Let's try it. I guess we could use so we need to store the velocity, rotational velocity. That's for, no, that's 3 vector. That's a vector 3. And then we're gonna need to do that for the position as well. Or maybe we don't need to store the velocity because we don't need to sync the physics calculations. We know we're gonna do that on the server. So maybe we can just use a vector 4. Or we could be insane and use a dictionary. I'm not gonna do that. Alright. I think we can do parts v 4I in data dot size parts I dot, I forget what members this even has. Dot, oh my god. Yeah, what are we putting in there? It's not an upgrade part, is it? Instance dot name. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. Okay, just part. I guess it's a part. What does part have? Part. Rigid body. That's what we want. Parts I dot rigid body dot global position equals data. Vector 2. Okay, we actually want these to be vector 3s. And then part, not rats. This is assuming, the order will be consistent, like in parts. If not, then we might have to do some sort of name lookup thing. Or I don't know. Maybe we could have these run on the part bodies, since we have scripts for those now. I'll try this first, though. I thought I was going to test this, but I guess I'm not doing that now. And how often are we going to do this? Oh, this doesn't have, like, interpolation or anything like that. Oh, God. Okay, probably shouldn't call this every fixed update. Probably not do that. So just like a tutorial we can look up on RPCs. Oh, there's channels. Hmm. Here, we'll print the data for debugging purposes. What happened here? Okay. Yeah, we're not doing that anymore. Alright, well, I guess we'll have to go to physics process. Is that a hash map? Oh, God. Oh, no. Okay. I guess we'll have to send a dictionary. No, I think we want to use if game data dot server is what is it? Yeah, is server. Then I'm gonna update information. Update clients. And we have to create our dictionary. This is gonna be awful. We have to get the keys. Data k equals vector 3 parts k rigid body global position x. Let's cache the part. Make things slightly more performant. Is that it? No, this is not. There's no way. There's no way this is going to work. And we're doing it in physics process, which is bad. Seems like our data is being arranged correctly, though. So, yeah, I guess we can get rid of the print thing. Also, this is only going to call on the clients, and I don't think our thing actually counts as a client. Oh, but it's naturally going to be called on the server. I'm calling the RPC the wrong way. I'm pretty sure I am. But dot RPC ID player replicate clients dot RPC ID. Do I want to use RPC ID or just RPC? This one's also using RPC ID. Okay. Probably could use something else there, but we'll pass the data in. And I don't know if it's going to actually call it on the server now. I feel like that wouldn't make sense because I explicitly told it to not. Oh my god, not Steam. What? Not right now. Do gaming later. Oh god. Uh, wait, what? Physics process, RPC, replicate clients on yourself is not allowed by selected node. You're wrong. It's not allowed by selected mode. What? What mode are we on exactly? Transfer mode. Oh no, there's that mode. Authority. Only the multiplayer authority, the server, can call remotely. I guess our multiplayer whatever just sucks because we are setting it technically on the Dragon. Clients are allowed to call. Okay, we'll just use any peer because it's gonna be call remote. Function will not be called on the local peer. So yeah, because we don't need to call it on the local peer. All the physics simulation should be done now on the server. Okay. What? Not allowed by selected mode. Oh, because I guess it still doesn't count as a client. Okay. Awesome. Or is it talking about the transfer mode? No, I don't think that's it. Or is it because I'm doing it in physics process and it's reliable? I feel like the error message would be a little more explicit in that regard. Okay, well, um, I guess we'll try call local. All right, that's fantastic. Yeah, I guess we'll try spawning in another dragon and see what happens. Yeah, I mean, I guess we're really just sending. We're kind of just showing like a display of what's going on the server to each client. You know, I've thought about it that way before, but I haven't gotten this far in like the actual code part of that. Okay. So it does not appear to be working. That's awesome. Okay, can I set this back to authority? Probably not gonna work. Okay, maybe we can't like set the position of the rigid body. Which is kind of frustrating. Is this working? Hold on. If not, game data is server. Guys, I'm gonna be pretty honest. Multiplayer is looking pretty difficult here. Data. So I guess it's not calling this on the other clients for some reason. Oh, that's send the input only to the server. I see. Yeah, this is like a whole thing. God. Why couldn't the RPCs just or the whatever the synchronizer work? I guess we could still technically add synchronizers to each scene. Oh my god, it's been almost 2 hours. Uh, Let me like not have the world's worst posture. I don't know. Again, it's just like, is this really something I want to do? Do I want to make entire new, you know, tool sets for this and all that stuff? I mean, how hard would it be to get a list of the connected clients? I see. No, not that. So we're going to be calling this for every part on every client, every physics process. Oh God, this is an ingenious strategy. Oh, I guess actually no, we can do it in this loop. For ID in server. Is it multiplayer.server? Multiplayer.get peers. Again, this should be the server, so alright, I guess we'll see what happens. So the lesson that I'm sort of learning is that yes, you do have to account for multiplayer like early on, and it affects like, every part of your game. Whoa, and we're getting the world's worst performance. Although, yeah, it's also not working. So, this is incredible. Wait. Oh, oh my god. Ugh, can't. Okay, so we have the world's slowest replication going one way. So stupid. Oh god. What do I want to what do I want to do? What would be the most feasible route to accomplishing multiplayer at this point? I think I'm gonna have to do a laundry break. And I will come back and I will have all the answers in the universe. Just give me a few minutes and I'll be back. We're gonna have to think about this though. So yeah, I'll start now. And then I'll, come back later, and then I will have done some of the thing, Yeah. No way I let this run and print a billion messages while I was gone. That's bad. Okay, I have another idea. It's kind of similar to what I wanted to try before, although it's kind of like the fully realized version. Here's what we're going to try. Export var art synchronizer. What's the thing again? Scene replication config. Oh god. I don't think that's gonna work. I guess we could make it a scene. I really don't know if this is gonna work or not. Also, it's gonna need the name of the individual parts as well. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. What if we try to make this like the world's worst RPC? Just how unreliable is it? And remember, I'm running this locally, so it might actually be way more reliable here. I guess we can think of this as like best case scenario. And maybe it's the printing. It's making this as slow as it is. Yeah, I should try turning that off. That is printing an entire dictionary. Every update. So we also want to check, how do I get the value? I'm going to try this. Now on the actual clients, we don't need any rigid bodies, technically. We just need to move them around. So that's that would be like the ideal scenario, but that would require like a huge rework. Maybe not a rework, but you basically have to convert all the rigid bodies into normal nodes and make sure we keep updating those hierarchies, so it's not really something I want to do. So it's only calling it for one of the clients. But if we go to game, yeah, I guess it's using this peer specifically. Okay, we'll just we'll add it. So I guess the annoying part here is that I have to somehow just access the connected client, so I'll just make an array of integers to represent the connected players. And here I can say data dot connected players dot append ID. And then instead of using our current client, which of course, you know, is gonna not work, we want to use game data dot connected players. Okay, it seems like it's only calling it for one of them. Also, I'm pretty sure that's like wrong. We don't want to compare it to the remote. We want to compare it to the player, not the remote sender ID. It seems like it's just not calling it though on our clients. Here, instead of doing that, let's instead print our array. So yeah, I guess we could just try disabling physics for every rigid body on the clients, even though the server will also be treated as a client of its own. Could try that. Okay. Seeing as the ID is 1 when we call it on the server, I feel like it'd be the same type of ID when we try to call it there. So... the other thing is, if ID not equal 1, so we don't want to call it on the server. But is it automatically going to do that anyways? I don't know. Wait, the ID is... No, the ID is not always going to be 1. Okay. But... let's just try this, I guess. Is there a difference if we use RPC instead of RPC ID? I mean, would that be uncallable? Yeah. On all connected peers. That's kind of what I want. I don't know if it's actually going to work, though. And again, I don't want to call it on the server. So, like, only one of them appears to be working. And of course, the animation isn't. Right, I'm pretty sure we have to separate the input again. Okay. All right, well. I guess that's what we have to do. We're not giving up on this yet. And also we have to sync input events. So there's that. Maybe we should just use an RPC. That gets sent to the server. That sounds like way better. And can't input event handle like pretty much any case? Because it also handles mouse delta, and I'm pretty sure we can get the mouse position when we're in it. So why don't we just do that? We don't even have to send the mouse delta. We can just send the mouse position. Okay. Although, could we have this in game data, maybe? I don't know if we don't need connected players at this point. And I still don't know if the other method works or not. We'll use game data to get all of our client stuff. It's pretty much any node in the game can access that. I feel like it would just be, smart. Okay, we have to make this an RPC again. Authority. Any peer. This is going to be the input. Sync. Function will not be called on the local peer. I guess this, would this be an input event, or would we try and update and send our input like every fixed update or something like that? Yeah, do we want to send the event, or do we want to send... No. Stop. Do we want to send the entire input data? Basically, less data, more calls, or more data and less calls? Kind of want to try the former. I feel like that would help reduce the lag. And we just send the event. That's all we'd have to do. So it does mean that we're going to have to make a cache of all of the dragons. Like a dictionary that correlates an ID to the dragon instance. And we'll probably also need methods to move the dragon. So this is actually making our code better. I actually didn't think about that. Maybe this is maybe it's worth implementing multiplayer just to force myself to clean up the code. Suddenly, when I think of it that way, it's like I'm more motivated. Maybe I'll do that. Yeah, I'll make a move function if we don't have one already. I don't think we do. And then there's this, of course. Yeah, that should be done on the server. Which means we should probably only physics process on the server, not the client, right? And then on the client, or we could have some sort of if statement, maybe. Callable, perhaps. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do this. Okay, we're going to separate them. Function, server, physics, server, physics, process, delta. And we're going to do this for enemies, although in the case of enemies, you might just be able to use an actual property synchronizer. Just synchronize the position. And then we can actually instantiate the enemies using the scene thing. Yeah, that would probably be the best thing to do. We wouldn't even need to synchronize the health. Okay. And then for the terrain, RPCs. Okay, we can generate it using the camera on the client, and then we send the overrides through RPCs. That sounds like a good plan. Although, This does mean that the server's gonna have to handle all the dragons. So maybe there's something I could do to remedy that. I want to make it client authoritative. That sounds a little dangerous. It could be more performant though. Ideally, there would be an option, like a way we could toggle for both. But you know what? I think we should just try and get it all to run on the server. I am committing to that. Oh no. That would mean we'd need multiple render points in our spawner. And the replication thing only works server. So if we tried to instantiate it another way, it wouldn't work. But we could use the camera per client to generate the tiles like we wanted to, and then use RPCs to spawn in the instances. So that way they get sent to the server and replicated each client. Okay, well, then we just have to synchronize the position. And at that point, we're already simulating the dragon. Oh, we have to keep the physics in mind, though. Physics are going to be calculated on the server. And if we're generating the physics, like, per client for the tile maps, that might not work. So we could try client authoritative. That's risky, though. And how would it, like, mesh together when the dragons are in the same area? Hmm. Crap. That's not good. Okay, so yeah, we either generate it per client and make it client authoritative, which would mean, again, how would we mesh it when they're close together? Like, what would happen at that point? Are they going to generate tiles over top of each other? Dumb. That's stupid. No, don't do that. I'm just going to destroy my desk really quick. For a second. Uh, think the most obvious solution would be to create a spawner for every single player. That's not good. That's not a good solution. I'm just gonna say it now. It would be a very bad solution. Mainly because we have to copy all these resource references. That's why. Thinking. Okay. So we wouldn't have to synchronize input in this new situation I have in mind. Each client would have their own spawner, which would basically take care of all the rendering. The RPC stuff would be simple enough. We can already set, even if it's not loaded for the other player, we can already, save them out of bounds. It's a thing we added. Yeah, and you know what? Even if the other player hasn't gone into a chunk and another player destroys a tile in that chunk, it should automatically just generate it for the other player and destroy the tile then using our, C++ stuff. We should make these methods accessible in GDScript. And then we can use RPCs. Like save tile or, destroy I think save tile is one of them. We'd probably use something like create tile. I guess we could use terrain references though, so maybe. But we can't use spawn tile, so we would have to create it from a terrain reference. This is like ease of implementation over security because, well, I guess there is an inherent like lack of security using a peer-to-peer connection. I don't really care about cheating though. Like, what I'm concerned about is if someone just plays with a random person or something that they, meet online, and then they, are able to compromise their system somehow. I'm not concerned with they play with a random person and they cheat the game and then the other player just like has to quit or whatever. I can live with that, but I do feel like it would not be good if they were able to like actually screw up their, access to their computer's files or whatever. That's just an inherent like flaw with peer-to-peer. So that would have happened anyways. All right, well, that seems like the easy solution. We don't need this RPC now. What about this other one? Okay, we're gonna have to change our... How fast would that be? I feel like it'd be really slow, actually, if I did it that way. We call an RPC directly to other clients. Does that work? I don't know. Get rid of that for now. Although it would be nice to have a move function. Replicate client. What are we calling it though? Physics process. If game data is server. I think we want to use a different metric now. Replicate clients.rpc data. Data dictionary. Okay. I really don't think we need call remote. And we do want any pure though. What is this? Unreliable? Yeah, I hate reliability. It didn't seem too much worse when I tested it locally. Though I don't know how it's going to turn out in some other situation. Okay. Yeah, I think when a instance is added through a different dragon, we can just turn off the physics for that instance. And you know what? I'm not even sure if we'll try and share. Maybe, you know what? We should try and share the physics. Yeah. It's gonna be like really janky. But as long as we synchronize them, hopefully that'll work. I'm not gonna make the dragons collide with each other. Oh god. That would be cool though. That would be cool. All we'd have to do is synchronize the physics or the velocity, linear and angular velocity, and then we'd have like the same behavior you do with all the other enemies that we want to synchronize anyways. So maybe I'll do that. Okay, so before when I said we need a new metric, I meant that this boolean here, if game data is server, would actually be probably, we still have is client, right? That's what we want. Is client dragon. And then it should replicate clients, and since we're using call remote, it should only call to the other clients. I assume that'll work with the server as well. Wait, is it working? Oh my god, I think it's working on both now. Oh, it's working on both. Finally. Christ. This is fine too, though, if this is how it ends up, the behavior. Also, okay, so let me see if I can show you guys clearly. See that? It's quite good, quite good. And this will be more performant now. We won't have to worry about performance as much in this regard. I think we can send... You know, we could make the spawn tile, or the spawner's chunk position a property, and then maybe we could sync that, and then set the other dragon's position based off of it. Maybe. Possibly. You know, let's turn fortune shifting back on. Because I don't think the behavior is actually going to be that terrible if we do. If it's not on already. Yeah, our camera's there. Here we go. Alright, we officially have a solution. Right, because it's still synchronizing the position. No, we're using an RPC. It shouldn't be doing that now. Why? Why? Stop. That's strange. So it's just like not working now? What if I try this? Something else I'm forgetting to origin shift, maybe? Alright, well. Guess that works. Oh, maybe because we're doing it in the ready, or before ready is called. And there, at that point, we wouldn't have our is client dragon thing initialized. That would make sense. And we can't do it in the setter because apparently this is like a node or something that doesn't get initialized upon initialization. Although, I don't, can we use enter tree? Interesting. I don't think so. I think that's why, we're checking it here. So we kind of have to do it this way. I guess we can just do it here. Then we add new parts. I don't know if it's gonna work. Okay, so we can have it in both, maybe? Will that work? I had it here, right? Initialize part? Yeah. So this will get called first, and then we'll override it on ready to make sure it's right, and then anything added after that should be initialized properly. What? And then on the server, we'll synchronize the chunk position and then just add that times the chunk size. Okay. Do I wrap around on the other client? I do. The other client also sees us. Did I disable the die button? Why is that not working? Probably throwing an error, isn't it? Please. Yeah, not sure what that's about. Oh, did it break the signals? No. It must have been in game. Must have been it. Okay, well, we should probably re-add those manually at some point anyways. I'm very tired today. I'll do a little bit more, but then I'm gonna end stream. You know, I have just enough hope in this now with this new client authoritative approach that I'm going to continue trying to do it. Add multiplayer, that is, but oh, it's complicated, or it's a lot. So I might end up not doing it. But for now I am. So that's cool. Yeah, what would we do now? Here, let's go to our spawner. .c++. Is that? No. Is that a module? These are modules. So I'm assuming our chunk pos is currently not a property. Yeah. And we have to get the chunk pos somehow. So all right. Okay. Here's the plan. Wait, is it a property? What the hell? Oh. It's already a property. Cool, cool. I knew that. So let's use that. Should be able to synchronize it right away. And then we can just get a reference to it. Probably using get node or something like that. Should be able to get the chunk size as well, right? Get chunk size vector 2 int. Although that is going to be in pixels. But that's good. We actually want that. Do we have to multiply it by 3 though? Wait. We can just check if the chunk position is equal to our own. Oh, but we do have to send it over? Okay, I'm thinking of this the wrong way. We're gonna add a bonus key. So I don't feel like making a massive data structure right now. I'm gonna do the unsustainable thing. If data chunk pause does not equal, we'll make this on ready. Not in the dragon though. For now, we'll just hide the dragon. Yeah, this isn't too bad. Oh. I thought I could access game this way. Oh, gd.g dot spawner. Okay, this must be like gaslighting or something again. Dot. Really? Okay, as long as we can get the chunk pause and chunk size. Yeah, for now we'll just say and again, this is only on the other clients. So parts. Oh, what? Here, we'll make this a boolean. And if they're not in the same chunk pause, they won't be able to see each other. That's sort of just the established rule. Well, the visibility... Okay, assuming the children inherit the visibility, and I guess I will make this... I should just make it a local variable now so I can get autocomplete. Okay, and then we just have to send the chunk pause. So... data... chunks pause? Chunk pause equals gd.g dot spawner dot chunk pause. I guess we don't need the chunk size right now. We could just add the offset if we have to instead. That could also work. Also, yeah. I'm trying to think how the whole interaction with other enemies will work when they're not on screen. Maybe when they're in the same chunk pause, that's when the simulation works together. I feel like that's manageable enough. Otherwise, you just disable them on the other clients, like whatever that means. Set their process to false. Temporarily move them into another node or scene that doesn't uh, update, like a tree that's paused, something like that. Okay. Right. Oh my god. All right. Well, here's what we're gonna do instead. Difference equals. Yeah, I think this is right. Times gd.g.spawner.chunk size. And then instead of visible, we just say b.rigidBody global position plus equals difference. Hmm. It's a vector2 int? Okay. Well, not anymore. Can I like start them with the different windows with like a pre-made layout or something? That'd be nice. Okay, well that works. It just works now. So yeah, this is fine. Woo. Multiplayer is easy to add to games, guys. All you have to do is just add a couple functions. There you go. It's the easiest thing in the world. I mean, so I can locate. Okay, I'll try to do this on one monitor because, better viewer experience, but I will try to locate this other dragon now. Oh, there should be like a little token thing that says your buddy is this way. There you are. Even though the tiles aren't synced up. The tiles will be very easy to sync up. Especially if we're only going to break single tiles. I don't know what that was. But that's what we're going to do. That's all we'll have to do. I don't even care about syncing the animation right now. This is amazing. This is incredible. And you know what? For the enemies, uh, could just keep them per client if we really wanted to. That would be lame though. You wanna help like gang up on the enemies with your friend. And why would I do that? Why would I even say that? That would suck. It would be cool to see some sort of strategy where like I don't know, maybe you smack each other in the face and that gives you power up somehow. I don't know how, or it would probably be more like, you know, some sort of magical thing where it's like, oh, you infuse the other dragon or throw it. But I'll probably have to increase the difficulty. So just more enemies, I guess, per player. That seems like compensation enough, right? Then you also have to consider they can revive each other. So, in a way, it's kind of extending the life. But you could think of it as if the dragon can heal itself in single player mode, well, you're kind of just healing yourself in multiplayer. But then also, like if you think of both players as a single dragon, you could just think of it as like healing. But also the build would be a little more. No, you know what? You could technically, in single player, well, I guess unless you're getting, some sort of body part upgrade and you can only have one of that type of upgrade, you could technically put all of those skills or all of those upgrades onto a dragon in single player and have like a combined version of that build. So I feel like it'll work pretty well. It might be a little bit easier in multiplayer, but honestly, we can just adjust the amount of enemies spawned for that. That's fine. Really not concerned about that. My biggest user concern with multiplayer is again just like the security risk of peer to peer. So yeah, I might once I figure out more about it, I might put like a disclaimer that says, "Hey, only play with people you know and trust," and stuff like that. That sort of thing. But I mean, this is looking a lot better than it did before. I can just go to another part of the map now. And again, this will keep the performance good. It should work with adding and removing parts. So there's that. So yeah, we just have to sync up the entities, sync up the tiles, add some, infrastructure around it, like, making sure the die button makes, or like the whole process behind starting a new run makes sense in like a multiplayer context. You don't want another player just starting a run randomly in the middle of a ongoing one. So, and then after that, should be it. Boom, multiplayer, easiest thing ever. No, we're gonna have to implement like the particles again. Uh, shouldn't be too bad though. I don't even know if I'll have to do that. Probably should. Probably do that. And if we're gonna be adding it directly to the root, we could just add the particles as a thing in the multiplayer synchronizer. So, yeah. I have to learn to use the multiplayer synchronizer stuff when I can in a way that would be useful. Because again, you're just instantiating the scene and adding it as a child. That's what we're doing for the particles. So we just have to add the particle scene to the multiplayer spawner. Although I guess in some cases it would be like attached to the dragon. We'll have to see then. Alright, I'm gonna end it here. Well, we made another step. Next time, we're gonna synchronize the tiles and maybe the entities. So stay tuned for that. Alright, thank you, board programmer. You're the only chatter today. Okay. I will see you guys in the next one. You know what, let me end it on a more optimistic note. We won, okay? We just added multiplayer. Boom. Completely flawless, no bugs. All the systems have been completely added. Everything's done. On a more serious note, I think we have discovered an avenue for implementing multiplayer that will be feasible enough. Again, not 100% sure, but the probability of adding multiplayer has gone from like 50% to like 80 at this point. So, Yeah, I'm planning to add multiplayer now. I think I could say that. Planning to try at least. No, I was saying I'm planning to add multiplayer unless there's some giant caveat. So yeah, we're gonna freaking do this unless there's a giant caveat. We're gonna make the game. We're at least gonna do that. But the multiplayer, things are looking good for the multiplayer side of things. Yeah. All right. There we go. I added the optimism at the end. That'll be so good for the VOD. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna here. Thanks again, everyone, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.